horror movies and beyond. I'm here with Brea Grant, who directed horror thriller movie Torn Hearts, presented to you by Blumhouse Television and EPIX, set to release digitally May 20th. Thank you for joining me today, Ms. Grant.
Thank you for having me.
I ran across this on my email and I was like, I gotta check this out. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is good. I love the country vibe with it, but then it turns into something like more sinister and interesting. And so I'm so glad I get to talk to you. So tell us a little bit about what this is.
What is it? It is the story of two up-and-coming country singers who decide to go and try to meet this woman, their idol, and get her to do a song with them. And then when they arrive, it's kind of a horror movie. Things don't go as planned.
And it didn't. It
goes not well for them.
No, but how did you get involved in this project?
I had met with Blumhouse after my last movie, which was called 12-Hour Shift, and had told them I like telling female stories, I like telling Southern stories. I love working with women that we don't normally get to see in horror movies, women over the age of 40, which we rarely get in horror movies. And they were like, cool. And then I didn't hear from them for a long time. And then they sent me the script and I was like, oh, you did get me. You heard me. And I was like, I love this movie. And I pitched and was out in New Orleans about a couple days after that. And we shot this thing pretty quickly. Like I think I had about a month to prep the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. The cast in here is just like, wow. I mean, such a great cast, especially Katey Sagal. I mean, I never thought I would ever see her in anything like that. It was just, but I knew when she did Sons of Anarchy, this was going to be good. How did you get her? Like, the cast?
I feel like we were just incredibly lucky to get Katey, but I knew she could sing. She has an amazing singing voice. She had a whole singing career, and we had a list of people, and from the very beginning, I was like, oh my God, if we could get Katey, that would be amazing. And we had very little time, and they were like, ooh, we probably don't even have time to talk to her about it. And I was like, let's just try. And she read the script, and she was like, I've never done a horror movie before, and this could be interesting. And we talked, and she really was into the character. She loved the idea of creating this like character that had been living alone, who had felt all this guilt. And then she came down to New Orleans and shot with us. It was very fun. I feel like it was. I just felt like we were completely fortunate to get to have her.
Oh, okay. When she started singing, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I never knew this.
She has, go YouTube it. It is great. Like she has like you heard it. That is her singing voice. That is her singing voice live. She actually never came into the studio. We used her live vocals from the shoot. And she just has this amazing voice that's like kind of haunting in some ways. And I felt like it was gonna be completely perfect for this song that we ended up putting in the movie.
And I also love the other characters. We have Quinn, who played Jordan, and Alexxis Lemire, who played Lee. I love how they were contrasts. They looked so different, but they went together. But then as it developed, we understood both of their situations and what was really behind it. I love how that direction went throughout. I mean, it started from the beginning when we meet them, and then all the way, and we were just like blown away. The house was creepy. The setup for the house, I mean, from the outside to the inside, how did you decide, okay, this is what I want?
We looked at a lot of houses in New Orleans, and I ended up using 2 different houses, and then I built the basement from scratch. So that was my first time as a director getting to design and help actually build an entire set from scratch. But I felt like we needed it because there's a lot of action that takes place in there. There's something else that happens down there. I won't do any spoilers. So the basement I felt like needed to be a build, but the other 2, there's a lot of creepy houses in New Orleans. There's just so many creepy houses, and there were these two that were right next to each other, and we ended up shooting in both of those locations. For the whole downstairs is like one house, and then kind of some of the upstairs, it's all kind of all mixed up. So the layout of the house is two different houses basically.
Oh, okay. Wow, because it really give you the tone. It set the tone from the gate into the basement.
Yeah. Oh, good. The gate we also built. We obviously made that gate and put it out in the middle of nowhere and had them walk up to it.
I mean, it felt like you were going to walk into a haunted house, but in somewhat it kind of was. I mean,
she is a bit of a ghost at this point. I mean, I don't really think it's supernatural, but it is. Yeah. She is living, I mean, she is a hermit. She's living alone, and she's been alone for 20 years. And I think Katey and I talked about it, and she was like, who do you think I talked to? And I was like, maybe an assistant brings you food once a week. Like, you are living alone out here.
I also really did love, it shows the dark side of business. Like, you think it's all, rainbows and butterflies, but really what's really deep down inside can, manifesting your feelings. And you really see that, like, progress with the girls, progress with Harper, progress with everyone, that it's really a dark business in any business you get into. So it's horror itself.
That was the other thing that drew me to the script, is I felt like it was, I work in a business, and a lot of us work in a business where we're all pitted against each other, and that's the way we're told it has to work. And so I wanted to kind of make a statement about that with this movie, that this is what happens. I mean, and I don't think these women had any other choice. I'm not trying to judge any of these women. I feel like they all made the best choice for their characters. And I worked with Abby and Alexxis on building their characters and giving them good motivation and how they would work through this problem. And I think they're all taking what they have to try to get to where they want to be. And I just think that, unfortunately, it is a very dark business where things don't work out for women. It sucks.
Yeah, I know. The pacing of the film, I really did love it. It got to the point. It was always something going on in each scene. It didn't leave you like, it wasn't like, okay, there was something and then it kind of flattened out. It was like all the way there was something going on and finna happen. And I love that because it kept my attention.
Oh, good.
It really did. And it didn't feel like it was any drag or nothing. It just like the performances. I love the girls. Katey was amazing. I mean, it just kept everything going. Yeah. Good. And I also love that we get to hear some of the music. I enjoy country music, and it's not like my top, but watching this, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, you can, this movie appeals to a lot of audience, and I believe it will.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope there are some people who are drawn in from the country aspect of it and end up liking horror because of that. I think that could, maybe it'll be a nice like gateway for people who deeply love Reba McEntire or something. I don't know.
So I love this film, and I wish you all the best on this film. Thank you so much for joining me on here. It is so great. Thank you, Paramount Pictures, Blumhouse Television and EPIX, for this amazing opportunity to talk to Miss Grant about her absolutely great film that's coming out May 20th, Torn Hearts.
Thank you.
Thank you.